The United States Army Rangers Regiment is the most elite light infantry force in the world. Their motto, Rangers Lead the Way, was given to them during World War II. When the Rangers were on the beach we're on Normandy, on Omaha Beach. Just a picture this. All these young soldiers and Marines hitting the beach, chaos, people getting killed, your best friends getting their heads blown off all around you. Average guy's about 19 years old. And they gather, once they're on the beach, they gather a bunch of these soldiers, and a general of an infantry unit, General Norman Cota, says to Major Max Schneider, "What's your unit? What's the name of your unit?" And one of the young guys in his unit yells out, "Rangers!" And the general yelled back to him, "Well, damn it, Rangers, lead the way!" And the U.S. Army Rangers led the way to victory that day. And that general was confident that they could do it because he knew their history. The Rangers have been around since the very beginning of our country. In fact, it was a U.S. Army Ranger who was the general of the New Hampshire militia who gave New Hampshire that awesome motto that state has, live free or die. So that general of this infantry battalion trusted the Rangers would lead the way because the Rangers had a history in the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I. They've been around, they've been tested, and they have the hardest training, and they have the toughest soldiers. And while I'm talking about the U.S. Rangers, Army Rangers, I want to give a shout out to my cousin Dave Carbo, who led the way as an Army Ranger in Bosnia, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Cuz, I'm so proud to be related to you. God bless you and your family. But right now, we're in a different kind of battle in this country. Right now, we're in a cultural battle. We just had a new president sign more executive orders that were anti-Christian than we've ever had in history. A lot of Christians are nervous. We don't know what to do. We're on that beach. It's chaotic. We're being shot at. We're being attacked spiritually. And there's a lot of soldiers out there in the Protestant army. You know, we have our Assemblies of God brothers and sisters, our Lutheran brothers and sisters, our Baptist brothers and sisters. But I believe our General Jesus is shouting out, Catholics, lead the way. Because throughout all of history, Catholics have led the way. In the first century, the second century, when people were calling themselves Christians but saying Jesus wasn't equal with God, the Catholic Church was saying, no, the Trinity is true. And they were establishing the doctrine of the Trinity. When all these heresies were saying in the first, second, and third century, Jesus didn't come in the faith, the Catholic Church was saying, no, that is incorrect. Jesus came in the flesh, and he was fully man, yet fully God, consubstantial with the Father, equal to the Father. They stood, even as they were getting thrown to the lions, the Catholic Church stood for truth. And as an evangelical with my limited knowledge of church history, I used to say, no, these were Christians. These weren't Catholics. In the book of Acts, it says they were called Christians in Antioch. But then I learned that one of the most famous bishops from Antioch, who was trained by the Apostle John himself, St. Ignatius of Antioch, said, where the Catholic Church is, there is Jesus Christ. In 108 AD, at the very beginning of the church, when the church was in her infancy, and according to Protestant historian J.N.D. Kelly, the reason he was able to say that and not explain it is because that's what the church has been calling themselves for years before that. Before 108 AD, they were calling themselves the Catholic Church. To distinguish themselves, again, according to J.N.D. Kelly, this Protestant historian, to distinguish themselves from the false Christians who said Jesus was not God. Jesus did not come in the flesh. The Catholic Church distinguished herself. You were a true Christian if you were a Catholic Christian. So my Protestant brothers should be thankful that the Catholic Church kept our doctrines pure. These doctrines that you preach. When I was an evangelical, I knew what separated me from the cults was that I believed in the Trinity and they didn't. That's a Catholic doctrine that they established. And when I was an evangelical, I was like, the Bible is the greatest book ever written. It's inspired by God. It's the holy word of God. Yes, it is. But it was the Catholic Church that decided which books would go in there, and the councils in the late 300s and early 400s after Christ died. Jesus didn't leave us a table of contents. The apostles didn't leave us a table of contents. The Catholic Church had to decide, because the Catholic Church was given that authority by Jesus in Matthew 16 when he told Peter, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. And what you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. And what you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." The Catholic Church has this authority. And all throughout history, the Catholic Church has led the way in the sciences. If you don't know any better and you go to a public university, these Marxist professors will tell you the Catholics, stopped progress. But it was the Catholic Church that built Western civilization. The Catholic Church contributed more to the sciences than any other organizations, all the other organizations combined. I could go on for hours, all the contributions of the Catholic Church, but I'll just say this. The Catholic Church has contributed so much to the science of cosmology, they call it the Jesuit science, because our Jesuit priests are scientists. The Catholic Church has given so much to astronomy and cosmology. There's 35 craters named after Catholic priests on the moon, and many asteroids named after Catholic priests, more than any other organization. And like I said, I can go on and on with all the sciences, but we'll leave it there for now. Western law was established by the Catholic Church. Before that, you had the barbarians who would say, if you think someone's guilty, throw him in the river. If he floats, he's innocent. If he sinks, he's guilty. That's the kind of law. But the Catholic Church taught Western law, which came from our canon law. And I can go on and on. The Catholic Church has always led the way. When I was an evangelical, I used to love the story of Corrie ten Boom. I still love the story. Great movie, The Hiding Place. How she hid Jews and her family went to Auschwitz. Excuse me. It's a great, great movie about a true Christian family protecting the Jews. But then I learned the Catholic Church protected 800,000 Jews. Hid them in churches, in thousands in the Vatican, in Catholics' homes. And many Catholic priests died protecting the Jews. They led the way. And today, Catholics are leading the way. And we need to tell our Protestant brothers, a lot of them are dismayed. A lot of them don't understand. A lot of them, they're lost. They got caught up in this prosperity gospel, and they're not prospering. They got caught up in this faith healing, and they're not healed physically. We need to teach them the true doctrines of the church that the apostles left to us from the very beginning. The deposit of the faith. The sacred traditions that the apostles left us. The Catholic Church has that. And we're going to lead the way until Jesus returns. God bless. Stay Catholic. And Catholics lead the way.